Hi Sarah, thank you
Hello.
for your time this interview. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. I would like to talk a little bit about your experience doing the awareness intensive, or who is in or enlightenment intensive, whatever it's now called. Um, can you tell me a little about of your process and what what called you to do the process for your first time?
So what called me to do the process for the first time? So the first time I came out to take this
Yes,
in?
yes.
Um, I mean, in many ways, it was a step on the path, you know. It was a piece that entered the field of awareness that was, um, yeah, a moment in time. Um, I was preparing for a silent retreat, and it was the Who's in intensive that was offered in Pachamama was right before the silent retreat. And I only knew that it was sort of a good way to prepare for this. So I really went in really into the unknown. I had no understanding of what we were doing. I knew we were working with the koan. I had never worked with a koan, and that's it. That's all I knew going in. Um, yeah, and uh, and yet there was something inside that had a clear yes. So generally for me, as I navigate this path, if that's what you call it, I move like that. It's often walking into the unknown, but there's something inside that presents as a yes, and often also with a little resistance. So it's like this particular quality of yes, no that creates it's something I pay attention to. So I had that heading in, and so that is what I followed.
Mm, beautiful, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and what was your experience when you enter the process?
Hmm.
How was that? How did that
Yeah.
unfold? That
Mm-hmm.
curiosity, that yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was I mean, look, the first day sitting, I had no idea what we were doing. I had no idea. And the mind was like, what am I supposed to do? It was this like, what is this? How do I understand this? How do I, like, trying to get it right or even know what the heck is going on. But it was a really interesting place to start because to come in so really like not knowing required a degree of trust, which I did have. I had immense trust for the process. I had trust for the guides, and I knew that okay. And I entered with that commitment to totality, like whatever this is. And there's something about that that I think really supported the process, but it was um a lot of different tries at a lot of different things, and layer by layer, a slow, organic revealing and a slow recognition almost of what I'm not over and over and over and over. And it was like that, which really, in a very intensive way, echoes this experience of that deeper quest for who am I really, that I've been experiencing in life. So it was like, boom, that life path condensed in a very, very um, intensive looking and experience.
Mhm. So it was a quest for
Yeah,
to knowing who you are, and that's what drives you to enter
yes,
first the silent retreat and then
all of it. Yeah. I mean, sort of had a moment where I woke up to the real recognition that I wasn't my mind some years ago. And I wasn't who I thought I was for many years, and that something just kind of went like that. And then um my sole focus had been like, okay, so if I'm not that, like, who who am I? And that really was the impetus behind a very like everything and anything was about that really. So this supported that work.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, very intensely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this quest of knowing who you are, what took you to wanting to know who you are? I know that you had this experience of, okay, prior to coming into the process, but was there something that sprung or that you were going through that drove you to say like, well, who am I?
Totally. I mean, yeah, it had been accumulation of the whole life really. I was, it's really hard to pinpoint that thing or that moment, but my life was symptomatic of someone who was seeking in all the wrong places. The heart was calling, was longing to come home. This longing I understood, but I understood it as suffering. And the ways in which I was trying to fill these holes, the ways in which I was trying to comfort and support, whether it was through numbing or running, disappearing. And so my life had hit a point where I got really, really good at disappearing. I was safest if I was gone. And I my I wasn't present. It got to the point that anything was frightening and I was just not there. So the faculties that I would rely on to interact with life, with relations, would be of the mind, would be, of all the things that I was turning to. But ultimately, I was just looking to get out of there. Every emotions, like things were too intense, and I didn't have it in me at the time to show up. Um, so yeah, I when things switched, I was really at a place where it was a crisis in a way. I was, I was, I was really suffering. I
Mm.
was really sad, and I was also had a heart that was super strong and breaking through all of that and calling me home. And
Mm.
when the heart is true and the intention is there, which I think is true for all of us, and you start taking little steps, like in my experience, the truth of that heart, the to come home, you get there. The
Mm.
doors open, and it just, for me, it was like many doors were opening, and there was a moment in the life where it became very clear that, okay, I just need to, it's time, go this way. Um, and then, yeah, everything
Mm.
changed.
Yeah.
Everything changed.
Yeah, it's a powerful process. And how did the awareness intensive who is in supported that transformation? Um,
Sure.
what what happened during your experience?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, that pendulum of like running away or disappearing or fleeing or hiding, and the opposite side, which is presence and being here with what is, being able to stay and meet, and not from a place of like endurance and grit and but like melting into, resting into. It's the complete opposite of everything I had known, which has sort of this fight and endurance and so this process was in many ways, facing being here fully, but the path to doing it was love, trust, melting, breathing, not doing. And so it's like there's a switch, there's something in the process that eventually allows for meeting this moment to be effortless. um, and also not scary, the opposite, actually. Um, so I keep getting to the end of the sentences and not remembering even what question
Mm,
you asked, but
great.
so I'm
That's
not sure
awesome.
if that answered that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mhm.
So what was your experience during the process? So there was this trust and um, this melting, and
Mhm.
so all this was happening.
Mhm.
Um, so how was for you the process in terms of the structure?
Sure. I mean, look, if I'm going to be completely honest, I'm now on the other side of, I think, the fourth who's in or third.
Hmm.
And it's also, it's not just one. Yeah, I see it very much like a continuum of that intensive work, but also as a life practice. So, it depends which one I'm in, but one of the things I'm always noticing is that um there is I'm still met with all of the layers. I still met with my own resistance. I still meet all um of the things that are in between me and the moment, and that's cool. Good to look, good to know because sometimes in the life I forget to even it's there. There's this buzz, or I'm not quite comfortable here. But like to really be able to be with only that, and okay, hi, okay, cool, cool, here you are. Oh, okay, cool, cool, here you are. In the moment, it's always there, but the layers of things between me and just being fully in this, um, they come, and they're always coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. So it's just that practice, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, and yet each moment new. There's something about looking that intensely in that reflection of another that it brings a light in that is really pristine. And all of a sudden, for me, anyways, in my experience, a moment will arrive where there's nothing in between it anymore. And slowly for me, what's been happening is slowly a recognition is arriving. Um, Not a seeking, not a grasping, but a subtle awareness, a recognition. And that's what I've been resting in. And you know, so this structure, this environment supports that. It supports it. There's nothing in the way. If you use the analogy of me in the moment and all the things in between, same with the outer. Just, it's just this. Even the one across from me is just this.
Mm.
Um, and we need that. Like we're sensory be it's crazy out there. We need it's a blessing, it's a privilege to have that space just to like chisel away um and get to who we are.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, and this arriving, did you have any challenges in this? Yeah, coming to that awareness of.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have
Yeah,
any little challenges
yeah,
during the structure?
sure. I mean, my personal challenges are probably a very clear reflection of my mind mechanics and my stories, but there's a large part of me that this seeking, this wanting to know, wanting to get it right, wanting to hold on to this space, So there's a few things happening, and there's what do I do when I don't know?
Mm,
How am I in not knowing? And what happens inside of me when I don't know and I'm trying to know what's happening, That's a big one for me, and
mm,
it's something I meet over and over again. No matter how many times I do it, I sit down, I'm like, what am I doing? What's it like, and I see um the but it also, it gives a reflection of how my mind works. And I'm not mad at my mind. I love my mind, you know. It's just it tries to operate in places that that's outside of its capacity, you know, and it gets really busy doing it, and it has a lot of reverb when it does that. And so okay. And so sometimes, if I'm not paying attention, it's trying to do all like it's trying to, and it just doesn't work in certain spaces. It can't grab that.
Mm.
I can't know that. It can't hold that. It's a little piece of the bigger scene. So that's what I face a lot of. There's also for me, there's resistance. Sometimes I feel like, of patternings and of attachments that I don't, so sometimes there's um resistance to what is. Uh, yeah, I meet my resistance. It's for me, it's a part of it. It's a part of
Hmm.
it. And yeah, that the gong goes and you sit down and you're like, "Rrr, again." Sometimes that's there, like, and then,
Yeah.
when you least expect it, something arises or something false or whatever.
Mm.
It's hard to put in words because I can see the one wanting to do the words is of the mind, but there's another part of me that's also here and is laughing at how we try to talk about these things.
Hmm. Yeah, we're trying our best.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and and look, just to say, it's all the flavors and colors of my mind and my body, like my body mind, and all of the textures of this human experience are there, and they're part of the big, like, of who I am, and they're also not the totality of who I am, and they're present and amongst other things, and it's that moment by moment working and meeting all of those pieces that sometimes are joyful and sometimes are frustrating as hell, and all of that is
Mm.
there also. But, you know, that's been my
Yeah.
experience. Yeah.
It is a tight container.
It's a tight container,
There is no
nowhere to
doubt
run.
about it. Yes.
Nowhere to run, you know?
And it's a big support.
Yeah.
Would you be able to speak? How did it support your process?
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing for me that was a little surprise, and I don't want to give away because, and anyways, everyone has a different experience, but um working in a dyad, working across from someone in a room with everybody also in their process. Um, the Even though the other one is a reflection of me, we're not in a social conversation or interaction in any way, which I find to be a relief. There was some recognition for me that um we're all not so different. Yeah. The experiences that we're having may be expressed different. They may be different stories. They may be this, but I could see myself reflected in the other over and over again. Um, and there was a like a sort of like we're all from one mind. We're all from one place with these different, there was that recognition. So there's something about being in this work in community, like being in this work with the other, even though we're not engaging in typical ways that we would with the other, and yet we're there in the most pristine, intensive, vulnerable places without any of the social constructs. There's something really powerful there about that collective that I think really supports the work. Um, Often, we're in meditation. I'm in meditation alone. So to bring that, um, to be alone and together at the same time, I think that there's definitely a magic there that is something that's elevating the work. Yeah.
Yeah, it totally resonates to my experience as
Mm,
well. And yeah, it's very nicely worded what you
mm,
described and what you just said. Yeah.
mm, mm.
Would you say that there was something that, um, or what was your experience after the process? Did you know, how did it moved? after going through that?
Yeah, I mean, for the first few days after it's with you, yeah, the Koan's with you. And I'm very used to it's almost like a relation. Yeah, I could use it to um the word pristine keeps coming up over and over again in that there was just this sort of like um washing away of all the layers and the extras. So I'm both an experience of stillness and also a recognition of when I'm not in that space, you know? Like quicker to catch, like, whoa, I- I've been off on that story for like 4 minutes now driving, really going. I was all the way over in like Barbados now with this story, far away. So it's a call to come home, call to come back. Gong. And even if, just that recognition, like, oh, something else is here and I'm identified with, I just, whoo, hey, okay, no problem. You're still here, but like, whoa, I'm not 100% completely into the narrative. So it's just, it's like a place that reflection. I say gong because the gong is not to give away
Mhm.
the thing, but and then the koan, and it's who's in like an ally, an echo to call home.
Mm. Yeah, beautiful.
Hmm.
So what made you come back to do it over again? Because you mentioned that you've done it a couple of times. So
Yeah, this the work continues. It's like I find the type of awareness intense of this particular structure, it's kind of raw. Like there's nothing else going on. Nothing. There's no there it's just this. And like an annual check-in like that where I'm not working with any external supports, any different I mean it's a koan, so sure, there's that there, but it just feels like it's like, okay, this is let's see where we're at. Let's I just keep like really polish the diamond. Yeah, let's go in and really take a good look. And I think that is I have many of these type of pilgrimages or retreats or or works or whatever you want to call them, but I find the world is a very busy, noisy place outside of just the mechanics of my mind and my body. Just it is. It's our reality right now. And um not even just to clean house, but to continue to deepen the work as I move on this path. It's more than maintenance, it's a deep dive, but it's necessary. Yeah, it's part of the structure of my own well-being to take time to inquire in this way and to be able to do so in an environment that is 100% about supporting this inquiry. It's where you don't find that out like so much. Um, so yeah, yeah, it sets me up. Yeah, it sets me up good. It's a good reflection.
totally, it is beautiful. How can a process be so supportive
Hmm.
into this quest
Hmm.
of discovering who
Hmm.
we are
That's it.
and to
That's
coming
it.
into truth to it.
Yeah. And I think, Naran, like scratch the surface of any human being somewhere, maybe not even that deep down. We all sit with this question, whether it's a yearning, a plea, a curiosity, a knowing that wants to be known in different ways. But I think, we all sit with this question. Let's look around. There's a million versions of people trying to reflect who they are, right or wrong. But this is, it's the question that I think it's there. It's in the human, all of us. So there's a universality to it as well. And then I see it in the eyes of those I meet on this path and those I meet in who's in. And so there's also that recognition of ourselves and each other as we move on this journey together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see the to really meet ourselves through all these ways and
Mm-hmm.
through all these mirrors as well as
Mm-hmm.
during the
Mm-hmm.
structure. So
Mm-hmm.
totally,
Yeah.
I can feel that too. Um, is there any changes that you noticed besides just the awareness, but in terms of was there in the way you see yourself maybe after the process?
Mm.
Or is there any recurrent changes that every time you do the process is
Mm.
what happens?
Yeah. Hmm. I think for me with this particular work in particular, there's a resting in stillness. Um, there's a meeting um, of a spaciousness and of that I'm searching my mind to see, is that true for each one? And yeah, it's true for each one. And it's true for many other things in the life. It's really hard to pluck these experiences out because they're weaved into the entire process of the life.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, it's I keep doing this because it just feels like it's this washing away and this meeting myself in a way that is really quiet. It's very still, and everything is quiet, and there's nothing to do.
mm,
And I can, I said that I'm a little bit tiptoeing, like just a space, like that. Something,
mm.
something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, beautiful description as well. Yeah, it is nice to come over and over and rest and sit and notice fully 100% who is
Mhm.
in.
Mhm. And yeah, I mean, it's a packaged little intensive of an experience that, again, if I were to look at it in relation to my larger experience on the path and working with this question, in my life, it's a very intensive, like, drop in the water of an experience that is constant and every day. I mean, for me, when I look at this path, I went through an incredibly awkward early days of experiencing firsthand all the things I was not. I thought it, and I don't, this feels awkward. I don't, like, what? Oh, not that. And I had that experience in the macro. And so
Mm,
for me, this is like this intensive, like, boom of what the experience in life is too. I can see the parallels, but here's where that's the work of these intensives. That's why they're so potent and strong.
mm,
But yeah, it's very easy to see it in the life as well. Reflect
mm.
it. Similarity.
Yeah, totally. I can sense that too, and I can perceive that in myself too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Anything else that you'd like to add in terms of like your experience or something that, or that invitation that you felt for the first time, maybe?
Um, hmm. I mean, I feel, I'm sitting with the word invitation that you just said, and it's nice to be invited to this work. And I say that because um, there are moments on the path where when someone kind of says, "Hey, cuckoo, look there," something starts happening inside. How do you receive that invitation? And invitation and the word invitation has been like it's genuine. When someone invites you, it's worth reflecting and checking in on this invitation. And really, it is an invitation. Um, and I think for me, I can say that was a blessing to receive it. Mm.
Mhm. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
taking the
Naran.
time
My
for this
pleasure.
moment and presence and for sharing um, all the beauty.
Mm.
Yeah,
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
thank you.
Bye.